Treasure Island, San Francisco, the TIDA and TIDA organizations, half aware of island toxins and half-dead plants. Clip event 24, Thursday, July 31, 2014, AVCHD 292, Carol Harvey, videographer.
Well, this was the original on the very first day that we took a tour.
Right.
This is the original, Harry Potter mysterious invisible wall that's supposed to protect us. So this is the first video that we ever did across from the wastewater treatment plant. We were talking about, seismic safety and, if something ever happened, its proximity to the water treatment plant is too close. And so for whatever their reasoning was, they moved it even closer to the water. So,
because that's it over there behind that fence with the green tarp on it.
Essentially.
And what did you want to say about Austin Hall?
So during that walk, we walked over there to the front of Austin Hall. I found this disgusting amount of asbestos just laying around, sparkling in the sun. It was like a fool's gold.
Walk down. Oh, you should walk down here because that post is in the way.
Well, there's a wire down, and I don't want to be too close.
Okay. Well, no. Absolutely. No, just stand right about
dead plants.
I just want to get Austin Hall behind you without a post being in the way.
So Austin Hall was, we had the dialogue about the poverty pimps and, then we found the asbestos. There's labels on the wall, on the doors, but you just assume that, okay, that's inside the building and it's all boarded up, so we're not going to get in there. We aren't harmed. But then you look down on the ground and there's these sparkling little shreds of asbestos. And so that's when I carefully collected the few pieces, and that was one of the pieces that I presented to Bob Beck at the meeting. And it sat on the table. You showed it to
the reporter, the NBC reporter.
Well, that was that location, but also more within the housing area.
And that shiny stuff had to have come off the roof. It was the kind of asbestos they put on roofs.
It's either that or from an interior that was dragged out by somebody, a squatter, somebody, it's easily, or just a kid breaking in and thinking it's super cool and scary and getting an adrenaline rush and carrying stuff out and then cracking it in half. I mean, if you put yourself in the place of like a teen or anyone who's desperate for housing, you're going to enter places that you aren't going to stand there and go, I wonder if I should go in there. I wonder if it's safe. You're talking about populations either out of necessity or just out of naiveness.
I think you want to say it, naivete.
Yes, thank you. I'm having a problem tonight. I mean, there's so many reasons why, the way that they say they are trying is only half trying. It's like saying you're gonna clean a toilet and just spray it down, but don't actually wipe it off.
Now you're talking about the Treasure Island Homeless Development Initiative.
And TIDA, anybody who runs this island and who should be noticing what we notice.
Okay, so TIDI is the group of organizations, the umbrella organizations, the nonprofits that are intended to get to help and people who are at risk for homelessness or homeless people off the streets by providing them housing. TIDI is TIHDI, the Treasure Island Homeless Development Initiative.
Yeah.
TIDA is the organization, this TIDA, that runs the island, the Treasure Island Development Authority. And Catherine is saying they're both responsible.
Yeah. I mean, and the Navy, even more so. Because it's their mess. They're supposed to be doing the actual remediation. But TIDA, because you're accepting what the Navy says. Do you not do your due diligence? Do you not do what we do and just take a walk? And with a critical eye? Because I'm standing here looking at you. I'm also behind you noticing that there is a fence that is bent to the point that a body could fit through there. If a kid wanted to get in there at night, not knowing what hazards lie behind it, would do it. I would have no problem getting through there.
Kid could get through there.
So see, if you have an eye for safety, if you have an eye for preventative, action, if you have an eye to protect people,
you would come out and have those posts straightened,
You'd
so
have
a
a
kid
walk.
couldn't. Yeah.
you would know that some of these fences are inefficient, or you would know that Mordor's fences were knocked down and someone could step right over it and get into it. You would see.
Interestingly enough, after you stepped on that and went in there and did your walkabout, then somebody must have looked at that video because they fixed the fence.
Yeah, and then they started filling it in and saying it's finished.
Which means they knew, because they put that fence back up, that we couldn't get in there and look at it anymore because it was all fenced off.
Yeah, and then if they fill it up, when we talked about the frogs, then none of us could get a hold of those frogs. Well, we can still dig. Because that dirt is clean now, right? So if I go back there now when they empty it and dig it up,
Well,
I'm not harming myself.
What are you digging for?
Frog carcass, frog bone. You can still test the bone. They think they're hiding stuff. They think they're mitigating. They think they're taking these, trees out from in front of Austin Hall, and somehow that's going to remove the evidence. Well, I already have a branch or two, so if you think you've already done it, you're wrong.
So, Catherine, this is Austin Hall here. You can see it, I think, when I zoom in. And when we were there last, there were trees there. Mm-hmm. So you got some cuttings from the trees?
Yeah.
You clever thing, you.
I have samples from quite a few areas. I have samples from some of the stuff that they had torn down and then put out here. I have wood chips from areas. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Because the thing is that if you notice it, you got to get it right then. Usually I walk around with the vials with me. But this type of stuff, like your documentation or anybody's documentation of things like, look at these. These are weeds. Typically speaking, weeds shouldn't look like that, especially right now. Mind you, we're in a drought, but that's also a weed and it's bright and green, right?
Yeah. Okay, take your foot off the weed that you're trying to show me. What are you trying to show me is wrong with this weed?
It's similar blackening. It's similar, just the process of its death. Okay, so they do eventually die off, right? It's common sense. But let me move my cane. When you look at these, look at how they do their thing. It's the tips. It's blackened. They're blackened. They're not just dead. They're like literally.
It's like what your daughter was saying
burnt.
about those bushes. They look burned. They're
like
charred. They're charred looking.
Like over here. So,
are you talking about the bottom?
no, I'm talking about.
What are you talking about with this one? Watch out for that wire.
I know. So the new ones are coming through clean. Thank you. But I mean, on the same plant, you've got this stiffening and this blackening of
one of them. Let me hold that forward, will you? You see this dead stick-like thing? It's on the same plant next to this very healthy weed.
somewhat healthy. See, it's kind of starting its own.
Yeah. But it's like I was videoing the pine needles on those trees, the needles on the trees back there. On the same bunch, it's black and charred, and then next to it is healthy green. It's just strange.
It's a weird phenomena. All these trees that were back there, the same thing. It's this black something. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like they are being burned. That's all I can think of, because it's literally like that.
So, do we, chemicals will do that, but will radiation do that?
I'd assume so.
I mean, that is right next to a yard with a radiation sign on it right now. I'm going back because I'm gonna video that radiation sign over there. Do you see this? This is right feet from that sign. Feet from proof. Where is that? There it is.
And
it's just just feet from it. You see that?
Yeah, I mean, they do come up, but even on the dead ones, that looks like somebody pulled it out. Even on the dead ones, you see around the root bases, there's like black. It's like a thing. I don't know how to explain it outside of they look burnt.
They look burned. Okay, let's go to, before we lose the light completely, let's
Yeah.
go to new site 6. How do you, I'm going to go to another clip.